Alright, Uncle Sam FM here for my next episode. It's been a couple days since I was able to record one. So, sorry guys, but this is where I am. I get ready to play in the U.S. Open Cup. And I really caught a break with the draw playing St. Louis FC, which is a USL team, a second division team. So, I should, well, quality-wise, I will be better. But you know, FM's a funny game. Football's a funny game, right? You can dominate a game and lose. But let's kind of look at where I am so far. I don't remember where I was when I left off, but you know, kind of some mixed form. I don't remember the DC game. I think I had played the DC United game when I last did a video, but that one sucked. So we blew that one. It wasn't too bad until we got down to Vancouver, which I had some fixture congestion right here, where I had a Saturday, Wednesday, Saturday situation. Had a midweek game, and a midweek league game, which is kind of annoying. So I had to decide what I wanted to do, and I really hate FC Dallas. I kind of let my emotions make my decisions, which is never a good idea. So I set up my team so that my first team, my first squad, played at Dallas. That meant that against Vancouver, I was trotting out my second team. And so I lost, obviously. They didn't play super well. I did get a goal from Machado, but it was not enough. And so boo-hoo, loss. Then I turn around, dominate this game against FC Dallas, but I think, if I remember correctly, I gave up the equalizer in the 90th minute. Really frustrating. Look at these stats. I mean, 17 shots to 2. I didn't dominate possession like I usually do, but I still had more of the ball. And yeah, 90th minute equalizer. Maddening. So that meant that I had to turn around and play my second team against Sporting Kansas City, which I kind of figured that was going to be a huge, massive blowout. But the guys played really well. They got me a draw, got me a point. Because Sporting Kansas City is the league leader right now. We'll go look at the table in MLS. Yeah, so Sporting Kansas City, they are not only leading the Western Conference, they are leading the Supporter Shield. Let me go to stages. Yeah, so they're tops, right? And there I am, third place, 2 points back. So that was a 6-pointer. And because I played my second team against Vancouver, then played my first team against Dallas. I either had to trot out an exhausted team or my second team against Sporting Kansas City. So what I should have done was played my first team against Vancouver, then played my second against Dallas, and my first against Sporting Kansas City. But instead, because that would have probably at least got me, I could at least got a 1 win out of those 3. But instead, I ended up with 2 points instead of a possible 3 to 6. Or maybe even 7. My second team might have even gotten me a point against Dallas. So, but got things turned around against Colorado. Didn't play really well, but that's okay because it was my second team. We'll look at the result here. As I recall, I controlled play because Colorado plays like this kind of. They play a 5-3-2 where they sit back. Yeah, see, I dominated possession. Had almost 70% possession. Doubled them up on shots and total chances. Well, I got 2 clear cuts. They had 2 half. Well, I had 1. So, really controlled the run of play with my second team. And then Sean Parker gets me the winner in the 85th minute. And so that was good. And I played my second team against Colorado so that I could put my first team, my Cup 11 in the championship, in the U.S. Open Cup final. So that's where I am. Now, I did make a couple little changes tactically. This is well, we'll look first at my my standard 4-3-3. I do a lot of reading about coaching, and I was reading one of my books on pep. Well, it's not really pep style, kind of. It's there's a lot of books about that people try to write about Pep Guardiola style, and I've got one that talks about his position play, which he is very, it's not. It's structured, right? Pep Guardiola structures his positioning of his players, and he's got a very distinct system. And so I was reading a book on that, and what I kind of realized is that I shouldn't play as wide as I do if I'm going to try and emulate his style. And the truth is, it makes me more solid in FM to make the changes that I did. So for one, I set my fullbacks on support. Before I had them on attack, and they were bombing forward. And what I kind of, as I thought about it and as I read, obviously when we think of Guardiola's fullbacks bombing forward, it was because Dani Alves bombed forward, and he didn't do that because that was the system. He did it because he was Dani Alves. So, and I said that before, is that I'm going to have a skeleton, a structure, a system, and then let the players be the players. And so I set my fullbacks on support because that's really kind of more how Guardiola works, right? All his players, he talks about how everybody does both jobs, attacking and defending. I've read that in multiple places. And so if you're going to try and recreate his tactics in FM, you are going to have a lot of support roles, including fullbacks. Now, you can get Dani Alves, but if you put Dani Alves on support, he's still going to get forward because that's who he is. He has that, that PPM, that player trait, and Lundqvist has that, and so he'll bomb forward some. So yeah, fullbacks on support. I also went narrower. I went to before I was fairly wide, but I decided to go narrower because that's really kind of how his team plays. They are usually closer together. He doesn't usually have his fullback. If the ball's on the right, his left fullback is not up in the attacking third. In the far attacking third. So I went narrower, keep guys closer together. And now one thing I am struggling with a little bit is that Guardiola's wingers play wider. That's just kind of one of his positioning rules. Thierry Henry spoke about that. I saw a video of him talking about Guardiola's style. So, for example, if the ball's on the right wing, the left wing is going to stay in that far part of the field. He's going to stay in that far channel, just to make sure that to spread the team out. Because the Guardiola style, everybody thinks it's like it's just a bunch of short passes, just to be passed. It's not passing to be passing. His passing is to draw the defense in. So they'll make about 10 to 15 passes to get the defense where they want them, and then they'll circulate the ball quickly. And for that to work, you kind of have to have the winger on the left side. So that works great, in real life, but in FM, I just prefer it this way. And I'm not Pep Guardiola, so we're going to do what I do, at least for now. And so we're going to leave the inside forwards inside, right? Yeah. So I do feel like it does help my possession a little more, makes me a little more solid. My fullbacks are getting exposed a little less. They're not getting caught up field quite as much. And yeah, I'm not really sacrificing possession. So that's good. I also did, on my 3-4-3, I went ahead and put my fullbacks up to the wingback position, just to try and get them further up, because that's when Pep does do the halfback dropping back business. those fullbacks they automatically do get forward. I do still have them on support, but as wingbacks, they are automatically going to push up. So the get further forward is part of their instructions. So even though they're on support, they're still going to bomb forward, and that's what I want when going with the 3-4-3, which is what I'm going to be using against St. Louis. Something else I thought I would show is kind of how I sort of evaluate big matches. So if I'm going into a cup final or a big match against an elite game, if I'm coming down to the end of the season and I'm really needing points, and I will go a little further in depth in how I evaluate my opponent. And one of my custom views is squad statistics. And I've got a bunch of stats that I have here that I like to look at to evaluate my opponent. Now, obviously, I can go to I've got the squad view where I can look at, and I can see my scouts' opinion of their abilities. And the truth is, and I'll note that. So I see Mike Lopez, right? My scouts feel that he is their best player, 2.5 star. The goalkeepers, okay, but what can I do about a goalkeeper? There's not a lot I can do about that. But so Mike Lopez is somebody I need to watch. It doesn't look like they really have anybody on the bench that I need to be too concerned with. But so Lopez is their best player. If I look down, you've also got their striker Valesky, Tony Walls, their right center mid. Somebody to think about, be concerned with. So I'll get that general look. But then I put this squad statistics in because it helps me to see how players are actually performing on the field. Sometimes your scout opinion doesn't always tell you everything. And so I'll go and look at, goals. Obviously, their strikers are the goal scorers, right? But if you look, and I don't just have goals, I look at goals per 90. So, like you see, Valesky and Herzog, they both have 10. But now, wait a minute, Valesky, he just doesn't have as many appearances, right? He's got 18 apps to Herzog's 31. So Valesky is scoring at a higher clip. He's scoring, a little over half a goal every 90 minutes. So every 2 matches ish, he's averaging a goal. So I look at that. I look at assists, right? And no big surprise, Lopez is their big assist getter, right? He averages almost an assist every couple games. So he and Valesky are somebody I'm going to need to watch out for. Now his pass percentage is a little low, 63, but that's not uncommon with outside mids in a 4-4-2, which looks like that's what they play. So I also kind of look at dribblers. Clearly, their Herzog is their dribbler. He's got more attacking dribbles than anybody else on the team. Well, except for this guy, Dikwa. He's somebody I might need to watch out for. I'll look at tackles, like where's their best defender. And Walls is obviously their ball-winning midfielder. He's a guy that's might cause some issues there. Headers 1 per 90. So you have Valesky, which I don't have much on Valesky. I've already kind of looked at but he is a header. Right? He's got a 13 in heading, which obviously is not epic, but that's even good for an MLS player. Not great, but good. He's got a 12 finishing, again, pretty good. He's 13 jumping, 12 strength. So what this all says is that he is a guy that if we let Lopez lump crosses into the box, Valesky could cause us problems. So we need to try to prevent crosses into the box by Walls. By Lopez especially. So ideally we just kind of keep Lopez from getting the ball. So I got to figure out how to mark him out, which top of my head I'm thinking using the wing back. having the left wing back try and mark him, but I'll probably just use opposition instructions to try and accomplish that, right? Because we want to limit Lopez. He's the guy. We've got to make sure that ideally we just keep the ball off his feet. But when he gets it, we need to show him weaker foot. And actually, well, let's see which foot he uses, which is his best foot. How am I missing this? Oh, see, he's either footed. So that's bad news for me. So probably what that means is we'll want to show him to his left foot. Because if he's on the right, we don't want him. His right foot is the one that he was going to cross with. So let's show him to his left. We'll mark him tight, show him to his left, because he's the guy that we got to watch, right? So that's just a little, and look, I'm not going to go any further than that. I just thought I would show you kind of what I do when I do look at a team, scout a team, see what I'm going to do to counter a team's strengths. And I do use statistics to show that, because when we get this deep into the season, the stats will tell us, quite a bit about who the real threats are. And I like using squad statistics too when I'm also scouting players. If I'm looking at a player, if I'm looking at signing a player, especially a foreign player, I'll go look at his stats to see how he actually plays. It's not a perfect way, because the reality is the stats are going to vary depending on the style of play. For example, these are all pretty low. If my team had these numbers for pass percentage, I would be screwed. If I had their best passer, you can't even count this guy, but their best passing percentage is 80. He's only played 4 matches. So really, their best pass percentage is 75, which, we'll go look at mine with the squad statistics. See, I'm everybody on my team, we're mid to upper 80s. Like 83, I'm seeing that, and that causes me a little concern, but then I realize, well, that's my attacking mid, and I've got him making a lot of killer balls. So 85 worries me a little bit with Leonardo, but he's a center back, so he sucks, and he's somebody I'm going to replace as soon as I can. So I worry when guys get in the low 80s, and their best passer is like a 70, what did I say, 73? 75. So, but the truth is, Walls plays in St. Louis's system. It might be that if he was in my system, he would be a 90% passer. But I can look and look at some of the stats to help whenever I'm scouting players. It tells me a little. It's another component to add in when you're scouting a player, and I would say that it's realistic as well. I'm sure in real life when teams are scouting, they do evaluate the statistics. That's probably becoming more and more prevalent. But again, you have to take everything into consideration. So with all that said, let's go back to here. Go back to my regular view so that I don't. Next time I come in, I'm there. And let's do this thing. Garza's I am a little looking at my players. So Garza's coming off an injury, but I don't really have any other options at center back. Garza's way better than Jared Watts. I'm not going to stick Jared Watts in the back. I can't use Senderos. Well, for one, he's injured. But Funmayor also is a foreign player, and I really can't pull him off and put him on and then take one of these other foreign players off. I can only have 5 foreign players. So De La Garza's got to suck it up and start with a 92% and then not quite fully match fit. Now, luckily, again, the draw helped me out a little because I'm playing St. Louis and not another MLS club. But then I've also got Lundqvist, he came off a minor knock, and then Cabezas, who also was nursing a little injury, but now they're both 100%. So let's play this thing out. Starting with my 3-4-3 because St. Louis is playing a 4-4-2, and I have 3, so I had 3 in the back to cover their 2 strikers. That's just kind of the way I do it. Let's see. Play a natural game, guys. Oops. And we'll give them the old, I have faith in you. Make a difference in that pep talk. And I'm going to be a little aggressive to start and go standard because they are probably going to come in a little cautious. There's my change of tactic. Well, alright, here we go. US Open Cup final. This is for the cup. Really need to win this for MLS pride here. Can't let a USL team get our Champions League spot. And we have a foul. Lose the cross in, handled well. Oh, Leonardo can't give that away, and we're down 1-0. Oh boy, not a great way to start. Leonardo is really not good. He's not even that great an MLS player, but all right. Well, fellas, it might be my fault for starting out a little too aggressively. Oh, and there's the equalizer right away. Tomas Martinez, instant reply. So let's go counter. Be a little more cautious. Even that was kind of a sort of a look what I found. Oh, and I forgot to use my. I need to. I went into all that about using opposition instructions, and then I forgot to. So Lopez, we are going to mark him tight, and we are going to show onto his left foot. Shot from, I think that was Minotas. Corner kick. Alright, make something happen. Make something happen, guys. And one of the talked about my inside forwards playing well as inside forwards instead of wingers is I want my inside forward. I want more guys close to the goal when we get it down, when we get it deep. Which I could probably make a winger do that, but assistant manager wants me to close down Herzog more, which probably is not a terrible idea, as he is their guy. Alright, so we're dominating. Got a couple chances there. Oh, I think we just got a penalty. Yeah, Boniek Garcia to take the penalty. He's usually money with penalties, so that hurts. If we lose, it'll be right there. Alright. It says Lopez getting too much space. I don't know what I can do about that. I guess I can mark him tighter. No, not that. The position instructions. Let's see what happens here. Oh, yes. Elise with the go-ahead. You're going to close down him always. Lopez is their threat. Okay, so Elise gives us the lead. Close to the half. And what I might do is go to my standard 4-3-3 to start the second half. And then they're coming forward, so let's go defend. Yeah, go my standard 4-3-3 and then set the defensive mid as a halfback so that he drops back. Yeah, Leonardo lost possession more than any other player. Yeah, no kidding. That idiot, basically, he might as well. It's almost like he turned around and shot into my own goal. If St. Louis wins, Leonardo should be St. Louis's MVP. Alright, happy so far. Keep it up. Don't worry, I have faith in you. And pep talk. So let's do that. Just make things a little more solid in the back now that I've got the lead. So we are going to go halfback defend. And just look over his instructions, make sure that, yeah, don't want him shooting off and don't want him making any risky passes. I'm going to have him mark tighter. And I think that looks good. And going defensive, at least to start. Let's see what they're doing. Which they should be coming at me because this is the cup final. You better get out there on Lopez. Come on. The truth is, Lopez has not hurt us. So, everything's worked so far. As far as, I mean, we're trying to, I guess, whatever, mark him out the game. I normally don't like doing a lot of opposition instructions because I want my team to play how they play. I feel like opposition instructions can, if you're not careful, can undo your tactic. Like you build this tactic with all these concepts and all these ideas. Like, let's just say that I don't want my fullbacks closing down heavy, but then I have on an opposition player, I have closed down always. So if I do that, well, my fullback's going to be closing down heavy, to cover that or to fulfill that opposition instruction. And so I'm undoing my tactic. So you kind of have to be careful with opposition instructions just to make sure that it fits into what you're trying to do. And they've gone, Leonardo. You had a chance to make up for your idiot mistake, and you blew it. Because you're nothing but a big turd. Leonardo's not good. That was an acquisition. Dynamo brought him in from the Galaxy. And I remember just like, why? Why would you bring in Leonardo? Alright, so playing alright. Man, I think I will bring in Parker at right wing for his pace. You know what? I'm going to sub him for Elise. Well, switch him to the center striker. Put Elise on the wing. We're in the 83rd minute. I mean, we're controlling the game. 70%, way more shots. I'm not crazy about how it's all going. Who was that? Who was it that just gave that pass away? Left center back, De La Garza. Well, it's okay. It all worked out. Please put it in the middle. Okay. Alright, just don't be stupid, Boniek. Waiting for St. Louis to go to like a 4-2-4. So, and then I would go contain. I think I'm set up pretty well. Might have put one more touch on that, Sean. Alright, here we go. get some real silverware. I did win a preseason cup. Well, and I won the Texas Derby. And you might be asking why I'm not subbing. In a one-goal game at a cup final, I like to hang on to my subs. And there it is. We are the cup winners. Bring me the U.S. Open Cup that I might drink from it. So it is good. It's good because the cup is automatic Champions League qualification. And, well, obviously I always kind of see it as something that might buys you a little time if things don't go well in the league play. And right now, it's not going as well as I would like. Congratulations, great performance. And so here we go. Yeah, the reality is there's probably a good 7 or 8 teams in MLS that easily have better players than I have. So my stand in the league is okay. Like it's above expectations. It's above where we should be, which overachieving is what you want to do in this first season. So we're mostly like, okay, 59 points. I don't think the Dynamo in real life have ever gotten 59 points in a regular season. They've won the MLS Cup playoffs twice, but neither of those times did they get 59 points. So that's good. And then they've never won the U.S. Open Cup. So both of these are accomplishments that the club in real life has never achieved. So, but we want to keep winning. We want to keep going. So, Cup champions. All right. Yay. So, these we weren't the only strong team. How many words for St. Louis? They can be proud of themselves. 2-1 to an MLS club. That's good. But I did look. St. Louis is like in the top 3 or 4 in USL, so they're a solid team. It's brilliant. I'm so over the line. Absolutely lining. Huge high. And 250K for winning against St. Louis. Board pleased. And cup review. Yeah, biggest overachiever is obviously St. Louis FC. Yeah, that was a good win. Yeah, that is good. So, looking ahead, we're in the last leg of the season. I've got six matches left, and looking at the slate of matches, these are not pushovers. So San Jose, Minnesota, Chicago are maybe not the best teams in the league, but New York City, they are one of the top teams. I think they're the number 1 in the East right now. Galaxy, always loaded. Sporting Kansas City is the best team in the league right now. So that is a challenge. And you even look at San Jose, they're in the playoffs right now. If the playoffs started right now, they're in. Minnesota's right outside looking in. They're just 3 points off the pace, and they have 3 matches in hand on RSL. So every team I play is solid. Let's see where Chicago is. Now the Fire aren't great, but hey, in MLS, everybody's close. Right? There's not as big a gap top to bottom as in other leagues around the world. So yeah, I got to bring it if I want to. I'm not out. The good news is I'm not out of the Champions League race, and not Champions League. Sorry, Supporter Shield. I'm not out of the Supporter Shield race. I can get there. I can win the Supporter Shield, and if I'm going to do it, I'm going to have to earn it because I'm going to be playing some really good teams. But we're looking at the long term always, and this season we really just want to finish as high as we can, and then start moving forward. As in the off season, we'll have a pretty big overhauling of the squad. Get rid of some old guys, some guys who are just never going to make it, and bring in some young talent, some players that I can develop into the squad that I want to fit who we are, to fit the Dynamo style of play, so that we can hopefully achieve that goal of winning the Club World Cup. That's what I wanted. I want to create a team here in Houston that wins the Club World Cup, which is not easy. Not as easy as it would be in some other leagues. It's definitely a big challenge, and so, but that's why I want to do it. It's one of the more difficult challenges. Well, one of the more difficult realistic challenges, right? Even in some leagues where it would seem unrealistic because of the way the game is, you can make it happen. But MLS, the rules limit you. The hard-coded rules restrict you. So I think winning the Club World Cup with an MLS team or even like an A-League team is one of the most challenging things you can go for. And it's one that you kind of have to play right in MLS, because you kind of have to build. You start building, and if the team, like let's say you put in a 5-year plan, if you build this like awesome team in year 5 and you go for it and it doesn't happen, well, then year 6 you're not going to be able to hold that team together. It's going to start crumbling, so you almost have to try to start over. So that's the challenge. But won the Open Cup. I usually do, actually, just because of the way I do it, the way I want to win it. I try to win it, and because of the way I approach the U.S. Open Cup, I usually win it, because none of the other teams approach it the way I do in the game. They're either playing guys who are tired, or they're playing backups, and so St. Louis got to the final because MLS teams don't play it the way I play it. So, thanks for watching. If you have any questions, put them in the comments. But this is me signing off.